told you loyalty was noble, that allegiance is a virtue, that standing by someone, some idea, some flag, was the highest act of character. They sold you that story, like a shepherd sells peace to sheep fattened for slaughter. But let me tell you a truth, carved not in parchment, but in blood. Loyalty is not a virtue, it is a strategy. Temporary, conditional, a tool of power, not a pillar of the soul. No man is loyal by nature. He is loyal only so long as it serves him. And when it no longer does, he changes. Quietly or violently. That is not betrayal, that is calculation. And calculation is the only constant in the theater of rule. You think people follow you because they believe in you. They follow because you are useful, because your fire warms their hands, or your shadow hides their fear. The moment you cease to be useful, the moment your strength weakens, or your enemies grow louder, they will turn. Not out of malice, but instinct. Like animals fleeing a sinking ark, they run not from you, but from the risk of standing still. This is not cynicism, it is clarity. The clearest mirror ever held to human conduct is not morality, it is necessity. Loyalty is a negotiation between power and fear, between benefit and risk. A ruler who forgets this is not betrayed, he is outplayed. Understand this. Men are not bound by gratitude, they are bound by advantage. Give them favors, and they will smile. But that smile hides a ledger, and when the account no longer adds up, the smile turns, the eyes shift, the daggers appear. So do not build your house on loyalty. Build it on control, influence, fear if you must. But never on trust alone. Trust is a currency that devalues the moment it's spent. The wise ruler does not demand loyalty. He manages it, like fire kept burning when needed, extinguished when dangerous. He does not punish disloyalty as a sin. He prepares for it as a certainty. You must ask yourself, who are you without the illusion of allegiance? If all who swear by you were to vanish at midnight, what would remain? Your power, your name, or just silence? You want to lead? Then learn to see loyalty as it truly is. A cloak men wear to get closer. Closer to warmth, closer to safety, closer to opportunity, and sometimes closer to your back. The most dangerous man in your court is not the one who opposes you openly. It is the one who praises you with too much eagerness, who nods before you finish speaking, who swears eternal faith. That man has already decided his exit. You just haven't seen the moment yet. Leadership is not built on faith. It is built on pressure, on timing, on knowing that every oath is temporary, every alliance a rehearsal for future betrayal. You rule not because they love you, but because they need you more than they fear the alternative. They will kneel for now, but that knee is not planted in reverence only in the soil of expedience, and soil shifts with the weather. Do not resent it. Use it. The wise understand that the crown rests not on loyalty but on leverage. Keep your allies hungry, keep your enemies guessing, rotate confidants, reveal little, reward strategically, punish visibly. Never believe their words, believe their interests. Remember, even a lion must glance over his shoulder, not because he doubts his own strength, but because he knows the nature of the pack. So, you want to command? Then stop waiting for loyalty. Cultivate control. Loyalty follows power, not the other way around. If they fear losing you, they will serve. If they sense weakness, they will conspire. You do not need their love in truth, but you must sometimes appear to have it. Let them hesitate and doubt, yet let your demeanor inspire enough hope that they prefer to stand with you. Fear and love together, even in balance, are the true currency of rule. And when they turn because they will be ready, not surprised, not wounded, just ready. Because loyalty was never the lie. Believing it would last was. Then understand this. Too, betrayal is not always a crime. Often it is the natural conclusion of loyalty fulfilled. A man who has served you well begins to think he has earned the right to stand beside you, not beneath you. And in that moment, the seeds of rupture are sown. You will not see it at first. It arrives slowly, like rot beneath polished stone. But it is always there, ambition sharpening in the shadows, pride mutating into entitlement. He no longer obeys because he believes in your rule, but because he calculates that open defiance would cost him more than silent resentment until that balance shifts, until he finds a better offer, a weaker you, or a more desperate cause. And then, what he once called loyalty will dissolve into action. What he once pledged will become your liability. This is why rulers must never grow sentimental. Gratitude is a weight. Nostalgia is a weakness. The past is only useful when it strengthens your present. The moment you begin to honor loyalty for its own sake, you create a blind spot, a place where disloyalty can hide, disguised as history, as friendship, as shared struggle. But power does not live in memory, it lives in motion. What matters is not who stood with you then, but who obeys you now, who fears you now, who calculates that your survival still benefits them. Do not confuse unity with loyalty. A crowd can cheer your name and plot your end in the same breath. Your generals can raise your banner and prepare your exile. Your inner circle is not a sanctuary. It is a chessboard, and you, their king, must play even as they bow. Assume nothing. Trust no one fully. Even your most devoted servant has another master himself. If you must inspire loyalty, then let it come not from love, but from necessity. Let your presence be the condition for their prosperity. Let your fall mean their ruin. That is the only loyalty that endures, the loyalty born of shared risk, not shared ideals. Idealism fades, risk remains. But beware the desire to be loved. It is a trap dressed in velvet. It flatters your vanity, but drains your vigilance. A ruler who seeks affection will grant too much, forgive too often, reveal too easily. Love is not control, but the appearance of love can strengthen control. A wise ruler does not beg for love, but crafts the illusion of it, so that his subjects are soothed even as he holds the reins firmly. Control is not won through sentiment, it is engineered, through fear, yes, but also through structure, through systems that reward dependence and punish independence, through the slow erosion of alternatives. Make yourself the indispensable axis, and they will orbit you whether they admire you or not. It is better to be needed than adored. Better to be the storm they cannot ignore than the sun they grow accustomed to. People follow strength, but strength is not noise. It is consistency, calculation, the silent, unyielding force that does not blink when challenged. Do not mistake cruelty for strength. Do not mistake volume for authority. The most feared rulers are often the calmest, because their silence is not peace, it is preparation. It is the weight of decisions already made. You must learn to anticipate disloyalty as you anticipate winter, not with surprise, but with strategy. Who will leave first? Who will stay longest? Who will pretend to stay while chiseling the ground beneath your feet? These are not paranoid questions. They are survival tools. A ruler who waits for the knife to pierce him has already failed. You must feel it coming. You must see it in their eyes, in their hesitation, in their praise that comes a little too late. And when you find it, do not hesitate. Power is not preserved by restraint. It is preserved by decisive correction. Punish not only the betrayal, but the example of it. Make your response so calculated, so complete, that no one forgets what loyalty means in your world. It does not mean affection. It means function. It means consequence. It means you are not to be crossed. There is no shame in being feared. There is only danger in being taken for granted. Fear keeps men aligned. Loyalty is unstable. Fear is elemental. You do not need to be a monster, only a mirror. Let them see in you the full weight of their misstep before they make it. And in those rare moments when loyalty appears to be genuine, do not relax. Use it, shape it, study its root. Is it gratitude? Is it dependence? Is it ambition in disguise? Extract its value, but do not confuse it for permanence. No bond is unbreakable. No oath is immune to time, pressure, or gain. So build your order on movement, on hierarchy, on systems that do not require faith, only compliance. build with eyes open and emotion restrained. The throne is not a place of sentiment. It is a pressure point, always under tension, always contested. Rule with that truth burned into your core. Because in the end, you are not preserving loyalty. You are managing its decay. You are maintaining control in a world that whispers defection behind every closed door. That is what it means to lead in the real world. That is what they never told you, because they wanted you to believe that trust was noble, that loyalty was sacred, that power could rest on good intentions and shared values, but none of it was ever true. And you, if you wish to survive, must no longer pretend it is. Every promise made to you was written in disappearing ink. Every alliance forged was lit with the slow-burning fuse of ambition. Every vow of loyalty is a wager, not on your virtue, but on your velocity. They are with you only as long as you move forward, as long as you win. The moment you stall, the moment the tide of power shifts, they begin to wonder, is it safer elsewhere? Is the future no longer here? Even the closest are not close. Even blood does not bind as tightly as advantage. History is soaked with the blood of brothers who became rivals, of friends who became executioners, of lovers who became informants. Intimacy only accelerates betrayal because the more they know, the more they can wound. And still you hesitate, because you were told to see loyalty as moral, as human, as sacred. But sacred things are useless in the crucible of command. You are not here to be human. You are here to govern humans. And to govern them, you must see them without illusion. You must strip away the language they use to disguise their motives, friendship, honor, loyalty, and see only the current beneath. What drives them, what frightens them, what tempts them, that is the map. Not their words, not their smiles. The moment you accept this, you become dangerous, because you are no longer persuadable by sentiment. You listen not to what they say, but to what they need, what they fear losing, what they secretly want. And you will give it or threaten it not to keep them loyal, but to keep them obedient. For the game is not to be loved. The game is to be necessary, to be the one force they cannot remove, cannot replace, cannot survive without. That is how you rule. Not by being admired, but by being embedded in the structure of their survival. So what then is the value of loyalty? It is a currency. You use it, you trade it, and you prepare for the moment it loses value. That is all. And when it does lose value, you must already have the next mechanism in place, the next allegiance, the next dependency, the next fear. You cannot stop betrayal. You can only outpace it. Let them leave, but ensure they leave weaker. Let them defect, but ensure they defect into ruin. Let them plot, but ensure they plot in rooms wired with your ears. This is how you wear the crown without waiting for its fall. Power is not a reward. It is a maintenance burden. Every day you pay for it in silence, in discipline, in the hard currency of foresight. You sleep among shadows. You eat beside those who would feast on your carcass if given the chance. And yet you smile. You rule, because that is the cost of command and the privilege of necessity. You must become fluent in betrayal, not as a wound, but as a signal. When loyalty fractures, it means the balance has shifted. It means someone has seen weakness in you, or opportunity elsewhere. Either way, the answer is not to plead, it is to correct. Restore your necessity, reassert your advantage, make the path away from you seem longer, darker, more uncertain than the path by your side. And if you must punish, punish not with rage, but with precision. Coldness cuts deeper than fury. Make them vanish, not scream. Make their absence speak louder than their protest ever could. Others will understand. Others will adjust. Because the court is always watching. The staff listen. The allies wonder. The opposition waits. Your response to disloyalty is not about revenge, it is about setting conditions, about shaping the atmosphere of power, until even the thought of betrayal becomes heavier than compliance. Do not waste time searching for purity. It does not exist in politics. It barely exists in nature. What exists is calculation. What survives is leverage. What governs is not the heart, but the hand. So craft the illusion, yes. Let them call you just. Let them see in you the leader they need. But beneath the mask, you must remain unblinking. Because the moment you believe your own performance, the moment you drink your own praise, you begin to rot. You become the man who is surprised by disloyalty. And surprise is fatal. Every ruler falls, but not all fall the same. Some are dragged from their palaces in disbelief. Others walk away, already knowing where the next lever must be pulled. Your fall should never be a collapse. It should be a transfer planned, guided, controlled. And until that day comes, you remain vigilant. You remain necessary. You remain above the fray, even as you orchestrate it. You are not here to be followed. You are here to be calculated against and chosen again and again, because the cost of leaving you remains too high. That is how loyalty functions in the real world. That is how power endures, not through sentiment but through structure, not through ideals but through consequence. And if you understand this, if you truly see the machinery, you will never again ask for loyalty. You will build it, shape it, control it. And when it breaks, you will already have the next piece ready. The ruler who lasts is not the one who inspires eternal devotion, but the one who designs a world where disloyalty costs more than allegiance, where departure means exile from opportunity, where the system breathes his presence and suffocates in his absence. You do not govern through hearts. You govern through architecture of incentives, of fears, of ambitions carefully managed. And yet, the fiction of loyalty remains useful. Let them believe it matters. Let them toast to brotherhood and oaths. Let them speak of honor while you track their appetites. The illusion must live not because it is real, but because it pacifies. The sheep that believe in the shepherd sleep more soundly. The guard who feels part of the family patrols more dutifully. Let them think you love them. Let them think their place beside you is secure. Just never let yourself believe it too. You are not their brother. You are not their friend. You are the axis upon which their fortune turns. And when you forget this, when you blur the line between the personal and the political, they will remind you brutally that power is never a shared estate. It is solitary, even among crowds. It is lonely, even among cheers. So guard your solitude. It is the final sanctuary. Speak with all, but trust in none. Share your table, but never your core. Let them drink with you, laugh with you, swear their lives to you, but know that their loyalty is as deep as their reflection and just as fleeting. True power is not in being surrounded. It is in being surrounded without being touched. You remain the unmoved mover, the still center around which others orbit. They may come close, but never forget. Closeness is not the same as allegiance. Sometimes, it is merely the most efficient position for betrayal. You must master not just politics, but psychology, not just command, but containment. You must sense the tremors before the quake, the pause before the strike, the subtle shifts in tone, in gaze, in timing. These are your early warnings. These are the tells of a system preparing to pivot away from you. Study not just enemies, but allies, especially allies. For the threat that approaches from the front can be faced. It is the one that whispers beside you that undoes you. Ask always, why is he here? What does he need? What does he fear more than me? These are not paranoid thoughts. They are strategic ones. In the arena of power, paranoia is not a flaw. It is an instrument, not to make you reckless, but to keep you vigilant, to keep you alert to the truth that every man is his own sovereign. That loyalty is a bridge, and every bridge can be crossed in both directions. This is not a world of equals. It never was. Do not pretend it is. There is always someone leading and someone following, someone commanding and someone pretending to obey. The balance is constantly shifting. The moment you let your footing slip, the whole edifice can tip. And when it does, they will not mourn you. They will reassign their loyalty with shocking speed. The same voices that sang your glory will recite your flaws. The same hands that lifted you will write your epitaph, and the same loyal faces will swear they never truly trusted you. Such is the rhythm of rule. Today, you are the center. Tomorrow, the example. It is only your discipline, your design, that determines which. So rule not with hope, but with mechanism. Not with virtue, but with anticipation. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be obeyed, respected, feared, and needed. Those are the true pillars of lasting dominion. They speak of leadership as a gift. They lie. It is a burden, a weight, a chain around your neck that tightens with every success. The more you win, the more you must defend. The more you rise, the more they seek your fall. And still, you must smile. Still, you must perform. Still, you must make them believe they are part of something they never truly controlled. Loyalty is the mask they wear, but control is the skin beneath it. Know the difference, and you will never again be ruled by surprise. Do not mourn loyalty's fragility. Use it and cultivate its appearance, for even false loyalty serves to quiet unrest. Anticipate its end and prepare the next incentive before it fades, but never abandon the performance of unity. The one who survives is not the one with the most loyal men, but the one with the deepest grasp of when those men will turn and why. You will be called cold. Let them say it. Better to be cold and standing than warm and buried. You will be called ruthless. Accept it. Ruthlessness is not cruelty. It is clarity without apology. You will be called alone. Of course you are. Power is a solitary summit. Crowds gather below, but at the peak, there is only wind and vision. And if you have the stomach for it, the silence becomes a kind of peace. Because only from that height can you see the full theater, the moving parts, the shifting masks, the endless rotation of loyalty and loss. And from that vantage, you no longer expect anything to last, only to serve while it lasts. This is the unspoken code of rule. This is the hidden ledger behind every kingdom, every movement, every dynasty. They will never write it in textbooks, but it governs all the same. And now you know. So do not seek loyalty, seek design. Do not demand trust, command necessity. Do not fear betrayal, anticipate it. Because in the end, leadership is not about holding others. It is about never needing to be held. The moment you free yourself from the illusion of needing to be held, needing to be loved, supported, protected by others, you step beyond the reach of their manipulations. Because dependence is leverage, and the dependent ruler is already conquered, not by arms, but by expectation, by emotional debt, by the fantasy that those beneath him will rise to protect what he did not secure himself. Power must be constructed so that it does not rely on affection, but on inevitability. Let them stay close not because they cherish you, but because they cannot breathe without you. Make your fall their suffocation. That is how you make loyalty irrelevant, not by removing it, but by making it redundant. The most secure ruler is not the most beloved. He is the most entangled, the one whose grip is not merely emotional, but structural, financial, legal, psychological. You must be the scaffolding of their survival. If they leave, they collapse. If they betray, they forfeit. That is control. That is permanence. And yet even that is not forever. Nothing is. The wise ruler does not seek immortality, only longevity. You buy time. You don't earn it. You extend your reign by managing decay, not by denying it. Each day, you bleed influence. Each decision, each misstep, each silence costs you something. The question is not whether you're losing power. The question is how slowly, how imperceptibly, how strategically. Those who fall are not those who are betrayed. They are those who misunderstood the nature of the game, who mistook proximity for permanence, who believed that yesterday's loyalty guaranteed tomorrow's. But the political world does not remember favors. It remembers incentives. It remembers costs. It remembers who made whom feel necessary and who failed to make themselves indispensable. So carve your place not in hearts, but in systems. Make yourself the keystone. Make your removal a risk no one dares calculate. Let them complain. Let them whisper, but let none move. That is control. That is fear disguised as respect. Understand, even the appearance of loyalty is valuable. It creates order. It suppresses chaos. It sedates ambition. But like all appearances, it must be maintained, not by trusting its reality, but by managing its performance. Reward the obedient. Elevate the useful. Keep ambition busy with tasks, not dreams. Keep your rivals close but fragmented. Unity among them is your death sentence. Discord is your oxygen. Divide loyalties, but not blindly. Divide with intent. Give each man a different interest. Overlap just enough to create friction. Make sure they report to you, not to each other. The more divided they are beneath you, the more stable your position above them. And never underestimate the value of spectacle. Punishments must be seen. Promotions must be noticed. Your authority must have texture, shape, and sound. People do not obey abstractions, they obey consequences. But do not become theatrical. There is a difference between visibility and vanity. The effective ruler projects presence, not personality. Let them see the result of your decisions, not the insecurity that birthed them. The more opaque your emotions, the more uncertain your enemies. And uncertainty is paralysis. Keep them guessing about what you know, about what you intend, about how far you're willing to go. A ruler who reveals too much becomes predictable, and predictability is a blueprint for betrayal. You will feel the pull to open up, to explain, to connect. Resist it. The more they understand you, the more they can map your weakness. Let them know your power, not your pain. Let them feel your command, not your confusion. Let your presence speak what your mouth does not. And when silence no longer suffices, when action is required, act with speed. Slowness is fatal. Delay is decay. The window for action is brief, and once it closes, your authority becomes memory. You will be tested, constantly, quietly. They will push, measure, probe. Not always to destroy you sometimes, only to know your limits. But the effect is the same. They are always watching, and you must always be writing the script they perform in. Power is a choreography, and you are the invisible composer. The tempo is yours to set. The tone is yours to dictate. But if you let them take the lead even once, they will never forget the rhythm of your weakness. So, keep the tempo fast. Keep them reactive. Keep them in need. Because the moment they realize they can survive without you, they will. And when they do, they will not hesitate. They will not mourn. They will move with the clarity that you once had and lost. So stay ahead, not in spirit, but in structure, not in words, but in force, not in sentiment, but in control. You will lose people. You will outlive allies. You will watch loyalty dissolve into politics, into new deals forged on the ashes of your favor. Do not mourn it. Expect it. Prepare for it. Because you are not a leader of men. You are the architect of their obedience. And architecture does not ask for loyalty. It commands gravity. So let them speak of loyalty. Let them write poems and pledges and patriotic hymns. Let them kneel and kiss rings and carve their names into your victories. Let them say they will never leave. Smile if you must. Nod. Accept their gifts, but inside remain unmoved, because you know what they forget. All devotion decays. All alliances erode. All bonds are conditional. You are not their anchor. You are their calculation, and the moment the math changes, they will go. The final truth is this. You were never owed loyalty. Not from them, not from anyone. Power grants no inheritance of affection. It only leases allegiance, one result at a time. The ruler who survives understands this, accepts it, masters it. So rule accordingly. Do not look for loyalty in the eyes of your followers. Look for opportunity in their needs. Look for leverage in their fears. Look for limits in their ambitions. And when they fail you, because they will, you will not fall. Because you never built yourself on their faith, You built yourself on their dependency, on the void they cannot fill without you. That is not betrayal, that is design. Because in the end, the only true loyalty is to the structure, to the order you have forged, to the necessity of your command. And if you have done it well, if you have built it not on trust but on tension, then even your enemies will maintain it. Because to destroy it would cost them more than to obey it. That is the highest form of rule, not being followed, being unavoidable.